With more than 7 billion people on our planet, there are bound to be a few that are a little different from the rest. Some of them are so unique that you might not even believe they exist. From 19 feet long dreadlocks to a woman born with no limbs, here are 12 of the most unique humans that are 1 in a million. Most people stop growing in their teens, but Robert Waldow never really stopped growing. When Waldow was just 8 years old, he was already 6 feet tall and towered over almost all the adults around him. He even became the tallest Boy Scout ever when he was just 13 at 7 feet 4. Waldow really started growing fast in his teens and measured 8 feet 4 inches. When he graduated from high school, at the time of his death, he was around 8 feet 11 inches tall, and even then his body was still growing. Turns out he was actually diagnosed with hyperplasia of the pituitary gland, which caused rapid and excessive growth. Even though Waldow was much taller than everyone around him, they still made sure to help him feel as comfortable as possible and never bullied him. His parents and siblings treated him normally, and even his school made a special desk for him so he wouldn't have to hunch over in class. Most of us would feel helpless even if we lost one of our limbs, but Amy Brooks doesn't let anything bring her down. Brooks was born with a birth defect that affected all 4 of her limbs. Her birth parents actually left her behind and even asked the hospital staff not to feed her. Fortunately, she was later adopted by people who actually cared about her and helped her through her darkest times. She now runs a YouTube channel where she shows all her subscribers how she does her everyday task without any of her limbs. All her videos are actually self-produced, and she needs little to no help at all from anyone else. We all feel pressured by social media to look our best and compare ourselves to others. But this is nothing new for Lizzie Velasquez, who has been feeling this way even before social media came around. She was diagnosed with neonatal progeroid syndrome, which affected her size, bones, and heart. Because of her condition, she'd been bullied almost all her life, but things got really bad in her teens. Back in 2006, a video of her titled "Ugliest Woman in the World" went viral when she was just 17 years old. While things were really hard for her in the beginning, she's now accepted herself for who she is and even works as a motivational speaker. Supatra Susafan is considered the hairiest girl in the world because she suffers from a rare genetic disorder called Ambra syndrome. This condition triggers the growth of all hair around her body, but especially on her face and neck. There have only been 50 cases of this condition since the Middle Ages, so doctors haven't really come up with a cure for it. Because of her condition, Supatra has been bullied her whole life, with people calling her horrible names like Wolf Girl or Monkey Face. While she used to get really upset by these people, she now loves the way she looks and doesn't care what the bullies say anymore. Niakim Gatwek is known as the Queen of the Dark, which really goes well with her because her skin is a very beautiful dark color. It's so dark that it attracts a lot of attention towards her. She works as a successful model with more than 1 million followers on her Instagram page, but her path to success and fame wasn't as easy as it might seem. When Niakim first came to the United States from South Sudan, she realized that she and her family were very different from the people around them. Because of this, she faced a lot of racism and even considering bleaching her skin at one point. Fortunately, she didn't and was able to love her unique skin. Every girl has wanted long hair just like Rapunzel at one point in her life, but hair doesn't really grow past a certain length. However, for Asha Mandela, her dream became a reality when her dreadlocks just kept growing and growing. Now she carries around 55 feet of dreadlocks and even broke the world record. But not everything is sunshine and rainbows for Asha. While she loves her dreadlocks, they are really hard to take care of. She can only wash them once a week. They need several bottles of shampoo per wash, and they take days to dry. On top of that, they weigh a lot and affect her ability to walk around. It's even worse when the hair is wet and weighs even more. Rosina Al-Shater has polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, which can cause irregular periods, weight gain, and hair growth. She had been struggling with hair growth and had been removing all the excess facial hair ever since she was just 13 years old. But she actually decided to grow her facial hair out as a social experiment back in 2016. She now loves her facial hair and has completely embraced her beard. While people still criticize her for having a beard, Rosina doesn't let their words get to her and believes her beard highlights her femininity. Ever since Troy James was just a kid, he was always very flexible, but always hid it from others. He now works as a contortionist and has appeared in all kinds of horror movies, TV shows, and theme parks. People call him the human spider because of how flexible he is. Troy also auditioned for America's Got Talent and got all yeses. He actually almost even made it to the quarterfinals, but was eliminated right before. Thanks to the show, Troy got a lot of gigs and works as a full-time contortionist now. Society has made us believe that wrinkles or saggy skin are ugly and undesirable, but Sarah Gertz is determined to change that. Gertz was born with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. Because of this, her body lacks collagen, which causes her skin to sag excessively. While she's only 28, Gertz looks a lot older because of her skin. Growing up was hard for her and people weren't very nice. She even said she had horrible self-esteem and would wear baggy clothes to cover her body. Now Gertz works as a model and wants to inspire everyone with her condition. The whole planet and everything in it are built for the average human with normal heights, but there are all sorts of people living in this world and of all kinds of heights. Edward Nino Hernandez broke the Guinness World Record of the shortest man alive at just 2 feet and 4 inches. Even though Nino is very short, he doesn't let that get in the way of his happiness. He says he can achieve anything as long as he sets his mind to it. Nino also hopes people will stop bullying him for his height and start seeing him for who he really is. Amar Barati lived a pretty normal life with his wife and 3 kids. He worked at a small bank in his town and was pretty happy, but in 1973, Amar Barati decided to give up his humble life and dedicate himself to a Hindu god called Shiva. In order to prove just how dedicated he really was, Barati decided to raise his right hand in the air and still hasn't lowered it for almost 50 years. In the beginning, Barati said the pain in his arm was horrible, but slowly the pain went away. This is actually because the blood circulation in his right arm has been completely cut off and he can't actually lower it anymore. That's why it looks completely dead when they zoom in on it. Barati believes his salute promotes world peace and hopes humans stop fighting each other one day. There are all kinds of weird world records, but this one really stands out. Nick Storberl has the longest tongue in the world, measuring at a whopping 3.97 inches. His tongue is so long that he doesn't even need to use a napkin. He can literally wipe anything away using his tongue. It sounds a little weird, but Nick also uses his tongue as a paintbrush by wrapping it around in plastic and creates all kinds of paintings that way. He also isn't the only one in his family with a really long tongue. His brother Chad also has an abnormally long tongue, so clearly it runs in the family. Alright, which one of these unique human beings shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and we'll see you in the next one.